Okay, so I'm Anna Evans. I'm a functional medicine nurse practitioner with Interlinked Wellness. And Tanya and I started our journey about 4 years ago. And Tanya, if you could just give us a little bit of a background, what all were you doing and how were you feeling before we started working together?
Well, I can't even believe it's been 4 years already. Time flies so quickly, because sometimes it feels like just yesterday that we started
I
working
know you're
together,
a
but
whole
it's
different woman, though.
I know, and well, prior to finally making this appointment to getting all of my hormones checked, I was just kind of winging it on my own because I was also at a stage in my life where that's all I did. I was just kind of winging it on my own in terms of hormones, and things like that. But my background originally, I'm a professional dancer. I'm a former professional dancer. I still dance. And then I transitioned over into the fitness space. And then I got into the fitness and nutrition coaching, all
Amazing.
online and helping clients online, getting results, whatever their goals are, using different fitness programs on a platform, as well as different nutrition that was designed for each particular workout program. So,
Amazing.
yeah, so and I've been doing this for a long time. And then I hit my mid 40s when all of a sudden everything that I used to do was no longer working. And I couldn't figure it out. And I bet there are so many of you who are like, I'm there.
Really
That,
do.
I'm exactly at this point where all of a sudden, I really hadn't changed anything, right? And all of a sudden I noticed my waistline is expanding, not just expanding, but like I was storing more belly fat. I was really tired and I didn't even realize I was that tired because I just go, right? And it didn't even dawn on me how exhausted I was and how, I was really just like running on fumes basically. Like I had no
Yeah.
energy. And I just started feeling horrible. And it's that
Yeah.
feeling of like, I just felt sluggish, and I'm normally super energetic and I'm bright eyed and I'm always in a great mood. And I was just, for lack of better terms, just dragging ass. That's how I
Yeah.
felt.
Yeah.
And it was just like, I knew something was off, but I couldn't quite,
Pinpoint.
yeah, because I feel like perimenopause, menopause, these things, I think they're definitely obviously more talked about now, thank goodness. But even just like 5 years ago, I don't even think that it was, talked about that much. Right. So you're
Absolutely.
going through this as a woman, you're, already dealing with, aging and all those things. And all of a sudden now you feel horrible. And that's just where I was. And that's when a friend of mine referred me to where Anna
Yeah.
was working at the time. She goes, I just got my hormones checked. I'm like, what? What do you mean? How do you get your
Yeah.
hormones checked?
No one ever suggested that before.
No, not at all, but really it was like all of a sudden I had hope again because I kind of just
Mhm.
felt like, well, this is it. This is just what happens at this stage in life. I'm 45. This is what happens, right? Anyway, so that's how I met Anna.
And then once we did your labs, you didn't even really know you were in perimenopause. And I remember when we chatted, you didn't really have like the classic hot flash, dryness type of feeling. It was all like different body composition fluctuations and the fatigue bit. And once we
Mhm.
saw your labs, it kind of all made a little more sense. Do you remember what shifted for you after we started working together? After we had the labs and you kind of had a better idea where you were at in life, did you change anything in your lifestyle?
Well, I was still working out consistently, right? But here's something that I was doing and I didn't realize is that I was under eating, and I think more, not just because, yeah, probably just stress, right? But also I think that old mentality of, right, like calories in, calories out, you know what I mean? And I also
Yes.
come from that era, right? Where
Yeah.
it was like cardio, cardio, cardio,
Yes.
and eat as little as possible. Also,
Absolutely.
from my professional dance background back in those days, I mean,
Mhm.
it's just those are the sign of the times, right? And so, you only know what you know, right?
Yeah.
And that's what I was used to. So at this time, I knew, you know, uh, whatever I was doing wasn't working. So I was kind of just open to ideas. And the very first thing that we started on hormone replacement therapy, and we started with just testosterone for
Yes,
a while.
exactly.
That's it. That's
Yeah,
all I did was just testosterone. I didn't do any other hormone replacement at the time
yeah.
because and I really
You
liked that
need it.
approach because it was like we're not just going to throw all this stuff at you.
Exactly.
Let's just start one piece at a time, see how you feel and go from
Mhm.
there.
Exactly. Especially during perimenopause, the hormones are constantly fluctuating. So if you try to replace everything at once, they're still being produced. So you may have too many hormones on board and you're going to feel worse. So after that, I mean, I think a lot of people are scared of hormone replacement therapy just because it's not talked about enough. But now, like you mentioned, it's a little bit more mainstream conversation. But just like with you, Tanya, a lot of women are coming in and saying no one has ever taught them about what to expect going through perimenopause, what their options look like. You don't have to suffer. Just like what you realize, like, wait, I don't have to feel this way. And then, yeah, it seemed like it took about, I feel like a year before things really started shifting. It wasn't
Yeah, it
quick.
took about,
It was subtle.
no, it wasn't quick and that's okay. And I even actually, I don't know if you I'm sure you recall, but we actually took a break a little bit
Yeah.
because I was like, "Oh, I was just like, let's see how I feel. I feel great. Let's see how I feel. Like maybe I
Feedback.
just want to take a break, right?" And I
Yeah.
did. And then I remember messaging you back like, "Oh no, I feel a huge difference without it. So I'd like to get
Absolutely.
back on it." And that's okay too.
Yeah.
You have to kind
Yeah.
of see where I'm not here to tell you to do one thing or another. I'm giving you my experience. And especially with things like you say the big T word, and the first thing
Yeah.
that you think as a female a lot of
I
times is,
don't want to look
I'm
like a
gonna,
man.
I don't want to get bulk. I don't want to like a
Yeah.
bodybuilder. Not at all. Like not at all. And in fact, when we looked at my levels, that they were like beyond low. Like
Non-existent.
yeah,
Non-existent.
basically non-existent. And then all of these things made sense. Anna was like, "Are you
Yeah.
feeling this, this, and this, and this?" Well, this is why. So, well, no
Yeah.
wonder. And I did feel the difference when I took that break and then I went back. And since I've been back on the testosterone, I haven't stopped.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
because of,
again, the
we do
thing
our blood.
is that
Yeah. Oh,
you
another
were
thing I want to say
consistent.
after that year is I started to really dial in, like look at my nutrition
Yep.
and
Your
really
gut health around this
gut
time
health was
too.
a huge thing for me because at the time I realized I also was having gut issues, eating healthy, right? Like eating all the right foods, but not there. Some foods are healthy for some people, but aren't healthy for
Absolutely.
you. And
Yeah.
so I really had to pay attention to that as
Mhm.
well. And food is a huge, I mean, you hear like food is medicine. There's so much that
Absolutely.
you can change and fix just with diet alone. And I don't mean
Yeah.
like diet and drastically cut your calories kind of diet. I mean
Exactly.
like anti-inflammatory, whole food
Yep.
nutrition, and just optimizing, like right, prioritizing your protein
Yeah.
intake and all of those things.
Yeah.
Whereas I was just like, don't eat too much. That's where I used to,
Yeah.
that like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And then with the coaching aspect, you mentioned like being a dancer and everything. How did you dive into the coaching
Oh
space?
my. Okay, so this, I'll give you like the Cliff's Notes version if
Yeah.
anybody's old enough. I guess, yeah, everybody's old enough, probably listening to this knows what Cliff Notes is. But the abbreviated version is this. I was a dancer and one of my last professional jobs, I met, his name is Sean T. You may know him from
Yeah.
Beachbody workouts, like Insanity, T25, big workouts. And we met on this job as dancers. And then when he got his first contract to make at-home fitness workouts with Beachbody, now called Body, he brought me alongside him to help him basically just be his right hand, his assistant, also help
Amazing.
him design the workouts. And so I transitioned just into this fitness
Mhm.
space, but it just felt natural. And I was like on the workout videos with him. Um, and that's just how it started. And then with these workout programs, we would have test groups of people, like participants who we would
Okay.
test the workout programs on,
Mhm.
right? And this is also
To
the
see the
day
results, the progress,
yeah,
right?
get results. We'd get our before and afters, and then we would have infomercials, right? So these are all, and remember the days of infomercials, and
Yeah.
that's how these workout programs were sold. And
Yeah.
you probably purchased one off of
My
an
mom had a DVD.
right,
So
exactly. And so that is how I started coaching people, right? And then I realized like watching people have these life-changing transformations, like it just, you know what I mean? I thought, wow, this is
it's
such this
purpose,
yes,
fulfillment. You get to help
exactly.
others.
So what was kind of just like a job really
Yeah.
turned into a passion project. And so I transitioned into coaching clients online, and I'm
Amazing.
still doing that just with a different
Amazing.
company now. And I'm still in the health and, fitness, space. And I'm 50, but maybe 52. Let's just say that. I'm in my
Coming up,
50s.
coming up.
I'm in my 50s, and honestly, if you were to ask me when I first met Anna, like I don't think I wouldn't project that I would feel like I do now, because at that point I felt horrible. And this is why I recommend everybody. I'm like, yeah. And so many people just ask me without even, without even me saying anything. They're like, I need, give me her
They
number.
need the Tanya.
Yeah,
Whatever Tanya's
actually they
doing, they
do.
need it.
They do, right? I know. Actually, I have so many friends who are like, I just asked for the Tanya. Just
Yes,
ask for
the
the
Tanya
Tanya.
package.
The Tanya package. And obviously, you're not going to do exactly what I am doing. It's
Yeah.
obviously based on
It's
your own blood
customized to
work.
each person. And also, though, again, you're so consistent. Like at the end of the day, like that's one of the most important things, right? Just being dedicated and consistent with it.
Yeah, and
Can you
you're
tell
exactly
us?
got, yeah, it's really
No, sorry.
like,
Go ahead.
oh no, I'm sorry. I was just saying, like, yes, consistent, and I'm the consistency queen. People know that about me. But not to be confused with like being obsessive. That's something
Mhm.
that, I'm
Yep,
not. And I think that is a key to my success. And uh, towards my consistency. And something that I
absolutely.
always share with my clients, and I follow the same motto, is that be strict with your goals, but flexible with your approach, because that's real life. Are you like,
Yeah,
there might be a period where you're like, you know what? Maybe I need to not drink. Maybe I'm not going to drink alcohol for 6 weeks, or let me just,
yeah.
let's do this. Or I'm not going to have, in my case, like, I can't have gluten, certain time,
Mhm,
whatever the case is.
mhm.
Does it mean that you'll never have it again? No.
Absolutely.
Does it mean, and I don't believe in an all or nothing mindset, because I don't find that sustainable. So I say all
It's
this to
not.
say, allow yourself some grace when you're going through this, because this is truly just a lifestyle. This is not
Yeah.
like, and you might be on these temporary plans, right? Just to like, okay, for 30 days or for 6 weeks,
Yep.
let's try this protocol. And then let's make sure you can go back to like living your life without deprivation. And that
Mhm.
to me is what will make you successful, and being
Agreed.
consistent.
Agreed. When you are so strict, if you get off track, then you punish yourself and it's more stress and it actually sets you back, does not take you forward.
Mm.
So, what's the most common mistake that you have seen your clients make that maybe is sabotaging their goals or holding them back from achieving those
Well,
goals
one of them
faster?
definitely is this all or nothing mindset. And I totally get it, right? Because you're like,
Yeah.
I'm all in. I'm going to do this. I'm going to follow it to a T, right? And you're like, I'm going to, because I want to get these results. Yes, like definitely give it your all, but also don't stress about it, because
Yeah.
that's one of
I
and
agree.
I'm always like, okay, just take a breath. Tomorrow's a new day, brush it off. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you're fine. You're fine.
Absolutely.
So that's one thing, right? This all or nothing
Yeah.
mindset. Like, you just have to be like, okay, you know what? Today wasn't perfect, but who cares?
It's
I'm here.
okay.
It's
Tomorrow's a new
okay,
day.
right?
Yeah.
It's okay. You're not going to jail for it, right? You're okay.
Exactly.
The other
Exactly.
thing too is the under eating. And that is
Mhm.
something that I did for years and not realizing it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I was like, oh,
When you're
I
so
got,
busy, it's
yeah,
not priority. Yeah.
it's not. And look, I'm not saying you've got to like have 20 meals prepped and doing all this stuff. I don't mean that either, but that might work for you if you're someone that's on the go. Everyone
Yeah.
has a different lifestyle and different schedule. But just like tracking whatever way, that's how I have my clients do it. I have them track their macros, not strictly, like, not super,
Mhm.
super strict, but really just mainly prioritizing the protein, right?
Mhm. Absolutely.
And just making sure that you're also getting your fats and your carbohydrates, like all of those
Mhm.
things. Another
The
thing too
balance,
is when you go completely like no carb, right? Like people do those diets. I
the
get it
crash diet.
when you're like, I got to get into this wedding dress, or I got to get into the, like, I get it. Just if you do something like that, just know that's very temporary. Also, another thing is the scale, right?
Yep.
Is another thing that people fixate on. And here's my thing.
Mhm.
If you've got 50 plus pounds to lose, I get it.
Yeah.
The scale will help you,
It's a
right?
rough guide to see progress, but it doesn't determine, is it fat loss or is it muscle loss? Obviously, we wanna
Exactly.
lose the fat, not the muscle, but
Exactly.
yeah. I tell
And
my patients measurements. Measurements are going to be a better way for you
absolutely.
to
And I tell them,
gauge
like, take
things.
pictures, like turn to the side and
Yeah,
you can see, you know what I mean? Like,
absolutely.
I love
Yeah,
that,
you
and I
forget
love, like,
what you
measurements.
looked like. Yeah, the pictures are a
Yeah,
great way to see that progress because we're looking at ourselves every day in the mirror and we're not seeing like, "Hey, wait a second, things are a
yeah,
little
and
tighter
then
than
when
they
we
used to
obsess
be."
over, like, especially us women, water retention is a thing, especially
Yes.
if you work out too, right?
Yeah.
When you work out
Muscle fibers
strenuously.
are torn.
Yeah,
Mhm.
so you've got water retention, then you get on the scale and you're like, "I gained 2 pounds." I'm like,
Yep.
you know what I mean? So I
Yeah.
just it's
No,
yeah,
I'm right
don't
there
use the
with
scale
you.
for that. Yeah.
Love it. I also have a lot of women that have fear or intimidation around going to the gym itself. Just if they've never done weights or any kind of strength training, it's kind of scary.
Um,
So, what is something that you
Same.
guys would do? Yeah,
Same. I go to the gym, like, what are all these machines? And also, I'm like, I'm not going to spend thousands of dollars. And I think there are incredible trainers out there. I just don't want to spend that kind of money. And
yeah,
I like to work out at home because it cuts, like, I'm busy. I don't have time to go to a
yeah.
gym, and I'll go
Saves
to
you time with
classes.
driving.
Yeah, I'll go to classes. I'll go to a dance class and I'll go to some Pilates classes. But like everyday fitness, I like to do at home because it's just faster and easier, and that's why I love
Yeah,
the program that I put my clients through, which is a 5 day a week program of home fitness.
amazing.
Yeah, home fitness, and guys, there are only 2 days of cardio for 30 minutes at the most.
As it should be. The
Yeah.
focus should be more on the strength training side. You
Yes.
mentioned in the app tracking macros. How are they tracking? Do they take pictures of their food? Do they put in exactly the foods that they had and have to weigh things? Can you give me a little bit of a breakdown what that looks like?
Absolutely. So in the particular app, so this is called the faster way to fat loss. That's how I coach my clients. And what happens is when you track your macros, I kind of say it's like tracking macros for dummies. Remember those yellow books, like Learn
Yes.
Spanish, Spanish for Dummies? It's like that. You can either take a picture of your food and the AI, and you can edit it if sometimes it'll say fried egg. I'm like, mine's not fried. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's a little off, but I take pictures. You can scan a barcode or you can just type in, right?
Yeah.
And you could just say like 3 eggs. Like I'm not measuring grams. I don't, if I have to put my food on the scale, game over. I don't want, no, I don't do that.
That's
I
why I
don't do
was
that.
asking because I feel like as
No.
soon as people think of tracking macros,
Oh, yeah.
it's
And
like,
that
it's
makes
too
sense
much
because
effort.
some
Who has
people
time for
do
that?
that. Some people do that. And I
Yeah,
feel like the people who mostly do that I feel are like competitive.
fitness competitors. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's a very specific thing. So we're not talking about tracking macros that way, but really the one macro that I always tell my clients, I'm like, oh, it's a little confusing. Like, just focus right now on your protein. Let's get all your protein
Exactly.
in, right?
Yep.
And so so it makes it really, really easy for you. And
Mm.
I make sure that it's easy for you because if this is hard enough to do, right? But then if you
Yeah.
add stress of like having to do all this busy work, you're not going to want to do it, right? My goal
You
is
have
for
to
you to get,
simplify it as much as
yes,
possible to be
exactly.
sustainable, and that definitely like, I like the fact that you're focusing on the protein intake because let's face it, as women, we severely undereat protein, and we don't realize how important that is for
I do it too.
yeah.
So, I'm like,
Yeah.
I didn't get
Sometimes
enough
I
in.
get meted out. I'm just like, I kind of am over it. So the next day, I'll be a little more vegetarian and then I get back on the horse and I eat my
Yeah.
meat again. So
No,
it's
I
just
get it.
reality. Like you said, not to stress about it. Just try to do your best and be
Hmm.
consistent with that. And if you get off track a little bit, it's
Yeah.
okay. Okay. Awesome. I love that you could take pictures of that though. That's really
I know.
cool.
that's what I do because I'm lazy. I'm like,
It's so much easier though. Okay. So tell me about, are there any wellness trends right now that are out there that you think are maybe just overrated, bogus?
I mean, gosh, there's a lot out there. Here's
There's a
what I'm gonna
lot.
say. I'm just gonna say there are a lot of experts out there.
Yep.
There are a lot of, and what I will say in terms of trends out right now, what's huge, 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 which you're probably seeing left and right, are peptides, right? That's the big one right now, right? Are
Ooh.
peptides, and I'm a huge fan. I'm
Yeah,
a huge
same.
fan. I know firsthand, right?
Yeah,
Just by using them, experimenting and using them
yeah,
even for myself. And what I will say is keep it simple. I think that's, you know what I mean? There are a lot of complicated things. I'm like, move your body, get some movement in, right? And you don't have to completely overhaul your entire life Like change small
Yeah.
things at a time. Like if you, and it depends on your lifestyle. So if you sit at a desk all day long, well, maybe like set a timer and walk. Like my
Yeah.
watch tells me to get up if I've been sitting too long or things like that. Just, even at the off, like if you're at work all day, like get up, walk.
Yeah.
If you can get outside and go outside and get some sunshine or just breathe some fresh air, anything like that. Just get some
Mhm.
movement in
Yeah.
first, right? Keep it simple. And then another thing that we like to say in terms of food to keep, this is what's really simple, right? Because nutrition is tough, right? I know it. It's all of us, right?
Yeah.
Whether we have like, I love sweets, I love that, and it's hard, but you know what? Here's the thing. When you start feeling really good, right? And you start feeling results, obviously, the more inclined you are to stay on track, right? And you feel really good. And you also are, then you're at this mindset of like, so what if I want a cookie one day? It's fine, right?
Exactly.
But one thing, if it helps when you're like, what should I choose? Maybe I'm out to dinner, or maybe, whatever, what should I choose to eat? Just try as much as possible to stick to whole food nutrition. And we always say this is going to sound weird. Obviously, if you're, vegan, this
Yeah.
is going to sound weird, but if it has a mother, if it came from the ground, then it's whole food nutrition. That's really the best way to think. It sounds weird, I know, right?
Exactly.
But if you
No,
think about it
it's
that way,
true.
right, then you're like, okay, gosh, there's a lot of processed foods I eat. You
A
know what I
lot.
mean? And that's the thing, because we want to talk, it's not just you just want to lose weight. Losing weight is not
Exactly.
right. That's so broad, right? What you want to do
Exactly.
is you want to decrease the inflammation because we are all inflamed. We live in
Yes.
a very toxic environment.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everybody deals with some sort of inflammation. So you want to reduce the inflammation and
Yeah.
you want to be a fat burning machine. Right?
Exactly.
That's what you want to
Yeah.
lose. You don't want to necessarily lose weight. You want to lose fat.
Yeah, and the longevity aspect of it too, like, my grandmother was 97, living alone, completely independent. She was still driving her car and able to get around without any wheelchairs, walkers, canes, and I'm just like, "Wait a second, I wanna be like her. I wanna be able to
Right.
get up off the couch, get up off the floor without assistance." Like, what we don't realize is that we're investing in our future self.
Future.
I want
Yeah.
that freedom and your mobility, which means your muscle mass. That's your sense of freedom and being able to get around independently. Yeah,
Absolutely. And
love
to
it.
be and preventative, right? Like,
Exactly. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, that's what
I
it
mean, the
really is.
added bonus, the side effect is, oh, okay, you lose a little bit of fat, you feel better in your clothes, you're a little more confident. But if that's the goal, I feel like it's kind of fickle because, like you said, weight loss itself, if it's muscle you're losing, it's setting you back. So we really want to focus on fat
Absolutely.
loss.
Yes, and that was one other thing I wanted to say,
Yeah.
ladies, weight training, strength bearing moves. So important. I'm not telling you you need to curl 40
Yeah.
pound dumbbells. That's not what I'm saying.
I can't even do that.
Right, same. But but I came from, especially in the 80s, like the Jane Fonda days, the high
The
aerobic, but
aerobic. Yeah.
But that's what we knew then, right? That's what
Yeah.
it was then. Now we're learning that there are so many more benefits to strength
Yeah.
training, from strengthening your bones, obviously building lean muscle. You need that muscle to burn the fat,
Improve
right? And then when,
metabolism. Yeah,
yes,
absolutely.
so you need that. Do not be afraid to put some resistance training. Maybe that's a better word,
Yeah.
some
Yeah.
resistance
I like
training.
it.
The body needs it.
So if you had to put together a really simple workout for the busy woman out there that's focusing on strength training, is there a certain move or something that you would recommend that they do every single day that you feel to be the most important?
Yeah, everybody underestimates walking.
It's
Walking.
true.
Oh my gosh. And it's so funny, when you like go on vacation a lot of times, let's say you're like, especially when you go to like people, they say they go to Disney and they walk like they'd get like 40,000 steps in a day, or you
Yeah.
go to places where there is no, you don't drive, right? There's
Mhm.
cities where like if you, when I
Yeah.
travel to Europe, like I
Yep.
am walking all day long. Well, that counts as my workout too, right? So
Yeah.
walking is another thing. But also when it comes to weight training, it's simple, right? And it's repetition. You don't have to
Yeah.
do anything fancy. Like, and that's what I love about the fitness app that I use, with the faster way to fat loss. The workouts, they are the way the programming is, they are designed to be
Yeah.
extremely effective. And I have found myself, not only am I stronger, but I'm leaner and I'm
Yeah.
lifting way heavier than I ever, thought, just because I'm like, wow, these feel a little lighter. Now I can, just because I'm getting stronger with
And
everything
clearly
I'm
you
doing.
are not bulky and you don't look like a
Oh,
man.
no,
And
no,
I
no,
think
no,
that's
no,
the
no,
biggest fear with
no,
women
I'm,
grabbing weights. They're like, "I'm gonna look like my husband."
yeah,
We don't have the hormones to look that
no,
way.
we don't.
Yes, you're on hormone replacement, but you're on the feminine dose of hormone replacement.
Yes, and let me tell you, if we're talking aesthetics, because I know that's
Yeah,
important too. I know we're talking
totally.
about longevity and anti-aging and
Yeah.
functional training and things like
Mhm.
that. But I also know that we want to look good too,
Look good
right?
and
I mean,
be
of
good,
course we
yeah.
want to too. And so I want to say this is that the weight training is where I really saw the transformation. Again, remember,
The
you want to burn
shape,
fat,
everything, yeah.
right? Like that's
Yeah,
what you want to put on muscle, lean muscle mass. And aesthetically, I'm like, this is the
yeah,
best I've ever looked, I think.
yeah,
So and there's muscle, but I'm lean. I'm not bulky
yeah,
at all.
exactly.
So, but very simple, like 2 days of cardio, like a high intensity interval, right? Where you can, spike your heart rate and
Yeah.
things like that. You do need that, right? Twice a week, no more than that. It's actually been
What I
proven that
like for
more.
that, Tanya, is just even if someone is walking or if there's a treadmill, whatever, let's just say it's a walk outside. Grab a backpack, stick some bottles of water in there if you don't have a weighted vest to create a little bit more
Oh yeah.
resistance, and just walk leisurely for 3 minutes and then speed it up for 3 minutes.
Yes.
Repeat that cycle 4 times. That's your interval training.
That's your
Heart rate is
interval
up,
training.
you've got some resistance. It takes maybe about like 30-ish minutes, done. Twice a week, you're done with your cardio.
And you feel so
Yeah,
much better. Those endorphins kick in, you're
absolutely.
happier. I mean, it'll make a big difference, right? 'Cause there's so many people, and I know this is something that has just been here for ages, is like we just want the quick fix. We want something that's going to work fast. It'll work fast, but it'll also rebound very
Yeah,
quickly as well, right? So this is why we got to look at the bigger picture,
absolutely.
and things like that. So only 2 cardio workouts a week, and then the rest is all just strength training.
At
Whether it's like
home.
yeah, I do everything at home with dumbbells, right? You can do like one day we'll all be focused on like pull exercise, right? So
Yeah,
like pulling, which is like
yeah,
a bicep curl, things
yeah.
like that. Or the next day, that's all push exercises, or it's a
Pushing.
heavy leg day. Also really important, which I know Anna gets on me too, is the restorative work, right? So
Absolutely.
like
Yes.
you need proper recovery, and
Yeah,
because it's very also easy to overtrain, and
yeah,
overtraining does the
yeah,
exact same thing. It
yeah.
really hinders your progress and
Inflammation,
oh,
injury, and then
injury.
also muscle is growing when you're resting. So if you're constantly using that muscle, you're really holding yourself back from getting those results faster. So those rest days, extremely important.
And
Yeah.
I mean
And
rest. I mean, you
yeah.
can do, obviously, we're
Yeah,
not
yeah, yeah,
talking,
yeah. You're not
yeah.
laying in bed all day, but
Yeah, but no
active
intense
rest day.
workout. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
It's important. I know, because I used to think if I rested, then my results would slip.
yeah.
And
Yes.
so people, yeah.
I feel
So
like that's a pretty valid thought process that most of us have had.
Mhm.
Tell me though, what are some things that you do to help you overcome when you're not feeling really motivated? Say you wake up and you're like, "Ugh, just I'm not feeling
Oh,
this week."
oh, that happens. That happens, guys. And
Yeah.
that definitely happens. And
Yeah.
so here's what I always tell my clients when they have these moments, because I have them too. I'm like, okay, the first thing I remember is I know I always feel better once I do it, right? I know I'm going to feel better. And it may not be your best workout, but it's
Yeah.
okay,
You did
right?
it
Just
though.
do it. Like,
Yeah.
just do it. And here's the thing. I'm like, it's your discipline. I'm like, you've got to work that
Absolutely.
discipline muscle,
Mhm.
right? And remember why you started. Like, why?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Then
Yeah.
you're like, okay, I can do it. And by the time
Yeah.
you're battling yourself, you could have been halfway through your workout,
Yeah.
and I
Absolutely.
don't work out. People think that I work out all day. I work out 30, 40 minutes a day. And I
Yeah.
take a 20-minute walk with my dogs. Like
Yeah.
that's what I do.
Realistic too. I feel like there's always that fear, like, I have to work out twice a day, 3 hours to look like Tanya. That's very realistic with
No,
most
I
people
don't do that. And I
saying,
know you see like, especially if you're on social media and you see like fitness influencers and it just looks like all they do is work out. I don't know what
"Who's
they
in
do.
the
I
gym?"
don't know. But I literally work out 30 to 40 minutes a day. I make
Yeah.
sure I get my steps in because I want to walk and walk my
Yep.
dogs and listen to some music or a podcast. And it's just like a meditation. And I like to do my walks after my workout because it's like a nice cool down to get a steady state cardio going, just to, and
Mhm.
it's a cool down. It's a nice cool down. You get your steps in. It's important for me to get, I don't count my, I don't do that. I don't even look at how many steps I get a day. I
Honestly,
just
you're
walk.
moving. That's the focus. You're getting out,
Yeah.
you're out in the sunshine too. I really
Yeah.
like what you said, Tanya, about how it's the discipline part. I feel like motivation, it's fickle. If we're
Oh
relying
yeah.
on just being motivated, you're gonna wake up and not feel motivated one day, and then what? You've gotta be disciplined. And like
You
you said, if
have to be
it's,
disciplined.
if you're on holiday and you're walking around all day, that's your workout. You
Yeah.
don't have to go to the gym then too if that's not feasible in that moment. No,
Yeah,
I like that.
exactly.
Very reasonable. Awesome.
Another thing too, I've noticed on the days that I'm not motivated, oftentimes I realize I didn't really sleep very well. Right. And so I drink decaf coffee, by the way. So like and so I get
Yeah,
messages like, how much
yeah,
coffee do you drink? Like I drink one decaf a day and I don't
yeah.
even finish it. I just like the taste. It's like the ritual of hot
Yeah,
something
that's what
in the
most of my
morning. 'Cause I
patients say.
don't,
Something similar.
yeah, exactly. And so I've really been paying attention to my sleep,
Yeah.
and making like good quality sleep. Because my problem is I like to stay up and unwind and watch a show and, and then I like go right past that sleepy moment when I should
And then
just
you're
go to
up.
bed and then I'm up, right? So I've really been working on that. There's so much that is one thing that people do not check in with. The first thing they think about is what
Yeah,
their food and their workouts, and then they're not even thinking about the quality of sleep that they're getting.
yeah.
Poor sleep can
Yep.
do a number on you.
And just because you're asleep doesn't mean you're having deep quality sleep. And that's what a lot of
Mhm.
people don't realize, like, "Oh, I get in 8 hours a day." Well, why are you waking up tired?
Mhm.
So, the quality of the sleep was not good. No, I
Mhm.
like that you mentioned that, and that again goes back to the recovery part of it. The better
Mhm.
your sleep is, the better you're recovering, less inflammation, all of
And
that.
when your hormones are imbalanced in perimenopause and menopause,
Mhm.
your sleep is disrupted. I mean, right? Especially
Absolutely.
like I've
Yeah,
noticed recently, like, because I'm in, full blown menopause now,
yeah.
I'm sleeping hot, like I'm
Mhm.
just
Yeah, a
heated
little
at
warmer.
night. So, so now I'm like really got to pay attention and make sure I get good quality sleep because already
Mhm.
hormonally, that's just what's happening.
Exactly. Exactly. Is there something that you wish more people understood about fat loss specifically that has nothing to do with calories and exercise?
Absolutely. I think, again, we have to get out of this mentality of like, I just want to lose weight,
Yeah.
right? Like, I like to say, you want to lose fat. You don't want to lose weight necessarily. You want to lose fat. The
Mhm.
fat stores, right? You want to tap into that, which is why
Yeah,
I love 2 days a week of cardio, and we pair that with a low carb day. That's twice a week, right?
yeah,
Because then you tap into the fat stores for
yeah,
your fuel versus glucose, right? And so
yeah,
and we start off the week like that. So just again, when we talked about like, don't look at the scale to
yeah,
measure your progress,
exactly. Yeah,
right? Because maybe you lost
just
five
be
pounds,
consistent.
but maybe none of that was
Water
fat.
weight.
Yeah,
Yeah,
maybe. Yeah. So you want to do that. So I would think, and I think, and even just saying those words, I want to lose fat, it already sounds nicer to you than like, I
yeah,
want to lose weight. You know
yeah.
what I mean?
There's
Like, then
almost
you're like,
less
okay,
stress attached to that, "I wanna
yeah.
lose fat."
Because I feel
You're
like it
you're
just makes
also
your
going to make better choices that align with that goal. Something I
versus,
think
because I think
also
when you think I want to lose weight, you want to cut calories. That's
cut.
the first thing you want to do.
Exactly, crash diet. Yeah, I hear you there.
When I say I want to
So
lose fat, I'm like, okay, let me increase my protein. I'm going to work out. That's what
yeah,
my brain thinks when I say I want to lose fat. So I think
yeah.
if you can just switch those words out, it makes a big
Mhm.
difference.
More, long-term benefits with that too. Something
Mhm.
also is sticking with it. I think that most women, if they don't see benefits within 2 weeks, they wanna jump ship. I know a lot of my clients feel that way, like, "Hey, I should be seeing this scale budge. It's going up." Well, kinda like what we discussed earlier, it's like when you're tearing muscle fibers, there may be a little temporary inflammation initially, but you've gotta push through that and be consistent. The other thing I wanted to mention is know your blood work. If there's something out of whack in the labs, like let's say your insulin is high or hormones out of whack, like when you came in and saw us initially, Tanya, those things can hold you back from fat loss. Even if you are eating all the right foods, doing all the right workouts, if there's something else underlying or like gut stuff, it may be contributing to more weight gain or fat gain in this case as well. What are
Hmm.
your thoughts on mindset too? Is there anything that you tell yourself or anything that you do to begin your day to really set the tone for the day?
Yes, actually. I journal every day and I do a gratitude practice and I also celebrate wins a lot. I focus on
I
very
love
small wins every day
it.
because
Mhm.
that'll keep you motivated to show up.
Yeah.
So when you focus on, and something else that I tell my clients and I do it myself is to never say the word only. I only did this or I just
Mm,
did this, right?
that's
That's
true.
so defeating, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm always checking in with my clients and making them focus on their wins from the day before or from the morning,
Yeah.
whenever you decide practice this gratitude. Like that's so important. We're so hard on ourselves, and
Yeah.
it's like, wait a minute. I kicked butt today. Like I'm a busy
Yeah.
person. I'm working full time. I'm a mom. I'm a wife and all these things. Like your life is busy and you do a lot. So, you
Yeah.
know, allow yourself some grace with that. But mindset, yeah, it's the gratitude and celebrating the wins. That's actually what
Right.
keeps me going for sure. And especially
I think
like
when we're
also too with
yeah.
this not seeing immediate results. I mean, I think now more than ever, we're impatient, right?
Oh,
We,
I'm
we,
patient.
I mean, like
With everything. You
We
want your
want
food
Amazon to
now.
deliver right now. You have food delivered right now.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
microwave society has gotten even
It's true.
worse. And so
Yeah.
now we're impatient with
We're
everything.
brainwashed into thinking that results should be so quick when it's not the case. You're putting in the
It's
effort
not.
and you're seeing those micro wins. Like you said, I love that you're focusing on the wins.
Hmm. Yeah, you just
Awesome.
got to be patient and like being consistent, right? And you should check yourself. Have I been doing all the things, right? Like not the all or nothing
And
mindset,
be
but like
honest with
yeah,
yourself.
and be
Yeah.
like, okay, where are the areas of opportunity for me?
Yeah.
Where can I make some adjustments so that, I can improve in this area? Because we
I
all do.
think that's where a coach can be really beneficial because you've got someone that they're on your team, but they're also keeping you accountable. Same with getting labs done. You can't lie. The labs are telling you the truth. So
Mm,
it's a great way to help with accountability and also to see
accountability
your
is
progress.
everything,
Yeah.
right? Because if
Yeah.
you're just alone on a ship doing your own thing, like you really, I mean, who's gonna know, right? Like just yourself. And
Exactly.
obviously, and if it's not working by yourself, then enlist a friend, like text a
Yeah.
buddy if you're, whatever. But that's what I love about all of the women that I work with because we do have our app, but then we have, oh, I like to call it our besties chat, and we check in every single day with each other. Like
The
everybody's posting
community
their
aspect
yes, and it's like,
is important.
okay, sometimes we won't do it for ourselves. I get it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you'll do it for other people sometimes, right? So it's like that part kicks in too.
Mhm.
You're like, well, oh, everybody's doing, I got to join in too. I can't not, right? So
Exactly.
yeah, so that's another reason why I love the coaching aspect so much too, for that community
I
piece.
like that. So if you had to start everything all over again, what is a piece of advice that you would give to the ladies that are just beginning their fitness, their wellness journey at this season in life when hormones are fluctuating? Like you said, things are just not working the way that they used to. What's that piece of advice?
Okay, well, first and foremost, because we have bio individuality, right? Like everybody is different. So
Mhm.
again, like get your blood work done. That is something that I didn't even think you could do. I just, what?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's so interesting because now that I do it, I'm like, why doesn't everybody do this regularly and see what's going on,
Yeah.
right? It's not get a physical once a year. Sorry, that's not what,
Exactly.
you know what I mean? And then it's like, okay, and they check two things. Like, you know what I mean? You go,
Exactly. You're good.
you,
You're normal. You're like, wait, I feel
yeah,
like crap.
right. You're like, no, something is off. So be your own advocate, like really,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? And that's why, I refer so many people to Anna because it was like all of the things that I didn't even realize I needed to check, and I didn't even know those were an option. And it has completely changed the trajectory of my own health. And, without doing a major overhaul.
Yeah.
And that's, so if I were to do, okay, yes, get that done, especially at this stage in life, and get
Yeah.
into you've got to move your body more. You have
Yeah.
to. We are
Yeah.
like, I it's crazy to me like when I watch a lot of sports, so there's a lot of commercials that play, and I am appalled with I'm like the average, like I just feel like everybody that is on these commercials, like, and
They're
they're usually for
overweight.
drugs, they're overweight and like
Yeah.
unhealthy, like
Yeah.
obese. Right. And I
Yeah.
don't mean that in a disrespectful way. I mean that from a
It's just the
care, I
reality.
care.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is not okay. Like, this is a huge epidemic. And it ranges
It
from
is.
the quality of our food source, um,
Yep.
our
The lack
lifestyle,
of
stress,
knowledge too,
the
just
lack
like
of
what you said
knowledge.
with not knowing that certain workouts are better for you. You would think that like, "Hey, move your body." Not everyone realizes the importance of that, and like you said, the quality of the food, and if labs are out of whack, I still have patients that are drinking soda because their doctor told them that diet soda is fine. So it's things like that, just the lack of knowledge
Yeah.
and
And here's,
maybe not having
and
a community to keep
yes,
them
and here's
accountable.
something too, especially because I know everybody's at a different stage, right?
Yeah,
But if you're like just getting started out, simple swaps, right? Small changes, and then eventually you'll work yourself up into some bigger
exactly. You
changes.
don't have to do
Like,
everything at once, baby
like
steps.
example, so instead of drinking soda, let's try, can we replace one of those with just like a water? Or if you're not even at that step
Yeah.
yet, maybe
The
it's sparkling
Ollie
water.
Pop
So
alternative fizzy stuff
something,
as an
something.
alternative.
Yeah, just
Yeah,
something so that we can get you off of that, just
exactly.
small swaps. And in terms of working out, see, look, this is why I love the way that I coach my clients through this program is because you're getting your fitness. Like, it's basically you don't
Mhm.
have to think.
Yeah, which is great because
Yes,
you've got so many
it tells you
decisions you're
exactly
already
what to
making
eat.
every day.
Yeah, it
Love
tells you
that.
what to do and what to eat. Bada boom,
Love
bada
it.
bing. And you don't even have to follow the foods that are there,
Yeah.
but if you're like, I'm busy, just tell me what to do. It's all there for you. And
Yeah.
you get fresh new workouts every single day, so you never get
So many
bored.
bored. Yeah.
Yeah, you never get bored, but it's truly a lifestyle. It's true. And what's so great is that, like, it's flexible. And at least that's
Mhm.
how I coach my clients, that it's flexible. If you gotta you've got to travel for work or family vacation or whatever, it's fine. You're not
Yeah.
going to fall off the wagon. You're fine. You're totally fine, and
Yeah.
so um yeah, but you do have to make a decision. You do have to make the decision that you are going
Commit
to make
to
some
it.
changes.
Yeah, I love it. Well, thank you so much, Tanya, for your time and for sharing your
Thank
story.
you
It was
for
great
having such
chatting
a
with
huge
you.
impact on my life.
Thank
And
you for trusting me all those
yes,
years ago. I can't
oh
believe
my
it's
gosh,
been that
so many of my friends, they're like, okay, I have an appointment with Anna. I have an appointment with Anna. I have an appointment with
I'm
Anna.
so honored, truly. I really am. Thank you, Tanya.
Of course.